Bartail has been one of the persons who's watched all the shows. I talk to him on a regular basis in the EverQuest Next IRC channel.
What we saw with, Kunark for EQ2, you did those 400 quests, you did all the content, and at the end of it, the world wasn't changed.
Yeah, I'm Phantom X. I do social media and write articles for EQ Nexus.
For the Fall of Bastion, there was a very definite, okay, this is where your story is going to fit into the world.
Listen, fluffy looking bear. Thank you. Listen, I went and I killed a dragon, and then 2 drops of whiskey hit my face, and I willed this manly beard into cow was raising. Yes.
Hello and welcome to EverCast, episode number 61, which we have titled Winter is Coming. EverCast is an EverQuest Next and Landmark podcast, connecting gamers with the game they play. I am one of your weekly hosts, Tanlin. With me are my 2 other co-hosts, partners in crime. On my left over here is Tyler. And over on my right is Tyler. And we got a muted. How does this keep happening? How does this keep happening? Gladys, can you hear me?
Sound fine on my end. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I hear you just fine. Never mind. There was a phantom problem with the. There were 2. I don't know. I hate this. I really do. This is Tamlin. I am one of your normal weekly regular hosts to EverCast. This is episode 61, which we've titled Winter is Coming. We'll explain what that reference is, because it's not just a Game of Thrones reference this week.
It's really not.
So hi everybody. You guys can hear me better? Better. Okay. So guys, how are you doing?
I'm good.
I have purple hair.
It makes everything better. Even when chocolate cake fails, dye your hair purple.
It is very, very true.
Scientifically proven. In our control our testing group of 1 person, it was 100% effective.
Bacon usually does it for me. I'm usually right.
I had bacon this thing as well. I went to hang out with a friend of mine this morning and sort of decompress because her and I have both been having my friend recently passed away, and her mother is still having cancer. So her and I are both sort of commiserating on the theory of everything. And everybody knows that Missouri loves foodie, so what did we do? But the 2 chubby chicks got together and went to a breakfast buffet at a local Mexican restaurant where they hand-made the tortillas and cooked them right in front of you, and they also had bacon. So seriously, how can you go wrong? Homemade tortillas, really, really good Mexican food, and bacon.
That sounds so good.
Pancakes had the best freaking pancakes, bomb freaking.
Oh, I want all this.
Come visit. You're welcome. They'll take you.
Yay!
Cameron's never even been there before. I always leave his ass at home.
I stayed home and had a banana this morning. That's because I played video games this morning.
Stayed home and had a banana this
morning. No, I don't. Well, for one, I don't eat bacon.
That's true. You don't.
I
don't know how I married him. Sorry.
I'm not gonna go to my.
Don't. Please.
Brown chicken breast. Alright, anyway, so, Flatus, how have you been?
You ass!
You been alright? Doing good?
I'm good. I'm great.
You're great. Alright. So a quick little. Well, actually, no. The whole show is pretty much going to be focused on the news coming in from Daybreak Games. But before we get to the Daybreak Game specific part. Hey, I said it. Daybreak Games, and I didn't, mess it up at all. Before we get to the Daybreak Game specific EverCast news, ECast news, some non-related but still very important information to know. The audio on the last show was absolute crap, and that was all on me, and I apologize. I have a very directional microphone. If I'm not talking directly into it, it sounds like crap. So I will do my best to talk directly into it.
Is this another one of those moments?
They're on mic jokes.
Talk in the mic joke. Oh my god, I'm a girl and I'm the only one that gets that joke. Really? There they go. Now they get it.
Yeah.
Heavens.
Other news. Obviously, the Steam summer sale is going on right now. So if you have money and you like games, you should probably check it out. H1Z1, which we probably going to talk a good deal about today, is on sale, 50% off. I picked it up today for $10.
I haven't yet, but I might. I haven't decided. Maybe by the end of the show, people will either convince me to get it or not get it.
See, and that's the other thing. Like, if I was not going to try and convince you to get it when we talked earlier today, because I don't necessarily know if it's a game that you'll enjoy.
I don't necessarily know it's a game you'll either, but you still bought it.
I don't know. So I spent about like 10-15 minutes playing it earlier today, just running around. And I like the atmosphere. I like that I logged in at night and it was really dark. That was exciting to see. And
have you met
the?
I was gonna say, have you met the bear yet? Yeah.
No, I have not run. I ran into. I only had like 15 minutes, and I really wanted to get a sense of the game environment without having to deal with like, well, what are the other players like? So I loaded up on a PvE server. But still, I ran into another player, and it scared the crap out of me because I thought I was the only person that was like up on top of this hill. There's only one road up, and he wasn't. I don't know. It scared the crap out of me when my proximity voice chat, like somebody's talking to me, and I'm like, what was? Like, oh, it's somebody talking to me.
If the game is potentially scary, it probably isn't for me, because if it's sort of immersive, and I've seen pictures and videos from the game, it would be a game that would be really easy for me to become interested in. If something is scary, I will scream. If I scream, then the dogs will freak out, and then I'll have an anxiety attack, and I'm not really sure that this is my kind of game.
Yeah, very immersive. As a matter of fact, that's the way that I would describe playing it to other people. Like, to get the best experience, I would say, like, I would want, like, I would turn off my side monitors, on some headphones, make sure I was playing at night, get really into it. Play first person only. Plus, when you play, do you play first person or third person?
We played on first person PvP, hardcore servers. So, yeah. So I dig both for different reasons. Like, I dig the hardcore PvP first person because it does make the game a little more difficult. But I also like the third person view because then I can kind of like look behind me and see everything around me, and I don't know, I kind of dig that I can take pictures of myself and like the scenic views and stuff like that.
I would say, yeah, that I wouldn't play on a first person only server, but I would play primarily in first person mode. But yeah, let's see, what other games are there? I also picked up the Civ 5 Ultimate Edition, or the Complete Edition, because now I don't have, done. Complete Edition is about $13. What was that?
The Beyond Earth was also on sale for like half off.
Yeah, not really. You know what? Rather than Beyond Earth, I spent $1.50 and got the Civ 3 Complete Edition because from talking with other people that are into it, Civ 3 remains like the best in the series so far.
Yeah.
Right, this Final Fantasy.
Hi.
When is the you're the Final Fantasy player.
I am the Final Fantasy player. Final Fantasy 14 Head Start starts this Friday on the 19th. If you pre-ordered Heaven's Word, the 19th would be your Head Start. As always, with anything that's a Head Start, the servers may come down. They may have an influx of people heading into the new zones. Things may happen. There may be bugs. Give them a break. Don't be mad. You know, the game officially launches on Tuesday? Monday at midnight or Tuesday at a certain time, but I'm pretty sure the servers will be up, come down, be up again. So if you are playing, you know, be the nice person. Usually, I have to say this: the Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy 14 community are really nice. Like they're not generally angry at Square a whole lot, unlike Blizzard communities and other various MMO communities. They're actually pretty decent community. They're not. I mean, there's still some angry people out there, but as a whole, and I'm on one of the more larger populated servers, there's not a lot of mean people. People are very grateful to the developers and what they do, so it's kind of nice to see. Like, it's very polar opposite of some games I've been in where people are like, and foreshadowing, yeah, I'm not going to play this game anymore because we don't have flying mounts. So, you know, screw you, 10 years, I don't want your game anymore, I hate you guys. Where everybody in Final Fantasy is more like, we understand, guys. It's fine. You take your time. Listen, you do a job, I pay you. It's really a give and take relationship. You give me a game, I take what I want out of it. You guys, you know what? You deserve a break, maybe. Go ahead, take 5 minutes. That's the kind of different dynamic I get from it.
Speaking of which, there was a Blizzard did the Warcraft developer, lead designer, did a Q&A yesterday on a Saturday of all time. And yeah, the Twitch chat was basically blowing them up with fix PvP, fix this, balance this, and I'm like, well, not much you can say to all that other than my specific questions as they come up. All right, so that was Final Fantasy. Into the bigger news, the news directly from Daybreak Games. If you are not on. If you don't follow, you don't subscribe to the H1Z1 subreddit on Reddit because it's subreddit. Unfortunately, I feel like you miss a lot of news. Like that's where Smedley posts the most. So last week he made a tweet, or he made a post to the H1Z1 subreddit, and basically what it comes down to is that there's going to be a Forge Light 2 in June. Even before EverQuest Next release, in the middle of development of Landmark, they are upgrading to a new Forge Light 2. And I wish I could tell you what that means, because I went back and I looked at every single post he made, like, well, what does this mean? And he never said. We have no idea. The only thing that he implied was that the size of the map was limited using the first Forge Light engine. They need to upgrade to Forge Light 2 and able to expand the map.
The only thing I can think of is that they attacked it. Let's be honest. SOE was a company that didn't put a lot of weight into what's the right word I'm looking for? Implementation of their Forge Light engine. They put a lot of getting it out and not so much on making it work, and it hurt PlanetSide 2. Now, PlanetSide 2 did great. I'm not saying that the game suffered. I'm saying that it suffered on people's computers, or like certain game PC players couldn't even play the game, or like myself, I had to slam my graphics way down. At the time that PlanetSide 2 came out, my machine was I was sleep. I was all this where I had no worries running PlanetSide 2, but the Forge Light engine didn't work on my card, or I had issues with it, and I had to find workarounds to make my graphics look decent and playable. So I hope that when they go into this one, or if they already have that, it was like, hey, let's make sure that it's working on all various machines before we implement it. And it almost makes me wonder that if the Forge Light 2 engine is coming, I wonder if it's something like a Lego piece where they can pluck out Forge Light 1 and then plug in Forge Light 2.
Yeah.
And it works. And that would be interesting to see if they can plug out Forge Light 1 and plug in Forge Light 2 into EverQuest Next and see how that would help. Maybe they have limitations, and maybe that's why they've been quiet. Maybe they're waiting on Forge Light 2. Maybe not.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's my only like what we're learning about Daybreak Games all the time. That they have an engine team. They have a team that works on the engine, and they don't do anything other than work on that. So they're just working on it, and then all of a sudden the team that's working on the Forge Light engine is like, we're ready to release Light 2. Okay, cool. What does that mean? Yeah, it's cool and all. Because the other things, like the speculation that I saw, is that they're going to better DirectX or stuff like that. I don't know. But DirectX support like version 11 or 10, not DirectX. Is that what I'm thinking of?
DirectX is, well, Windows 10 is going to support DirectX 12, so.
Yeah, right. So maybe they have to do some adjustments to make it compatible with other software moving forward. Like, I don't know. It's that hard coding stuff I don't know a whole lot about. But I think that what you said is absolutely correct. They have got to make it so that they can plug and play that engine without having to, re-download the game. One of the things that we talked about in the show is that, like, hopefully it's as simple as they do all of the work on their end, on their server, to host the engine, and you just download it as a client tweak without having to re-download it. So Light 2, we have no idea. Wish we knew more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not much news we get from other MMOs, but I'll take whatever. Listen, I will suckle at any teeth that Daybreak just hands out. I don't care what game it is. Just give me something.
I asked Medley on Twitter. I sent a tweet to him. I'm like, would you care to tell us how and what this means for the other games that are on the Forge Light engine? And that's, PlanetSide 2 and Landmark, and what about EverQuest Next? And that going to the next bit of EverCast news, because he also tweeted out a link to Reddit saying that weather was coming in H1Z1, which is the next bit of news that we got here. Because I want to know what do these two things, the new engine and weather in H1Z1, what do they mean for EverQuest Next? Because I will look for the specific quote because it's in there from Smedley, where he talks about how, will it be impactful development for other games? Absolutely, but only in a positive way. We've had an engine team separate from the game teams from a long time now. Not ready to announce what it's going to mean for PlanetSide 2, but good things for sure. And that's like, well, okay, fine. You can't say what that means for PlanetSide 2, but what about EverQuest Next? What about Landmark? But when it comes to the weather, we had seen demos of what the game H1Z1 would look like when they had the ability to turn on the dynamic weather. And that was we should see snow accumulate on the ground. Like, it snows, the terrain turns to snow, and all of a sudden you're leaving snowy footprints behind. I can't see where this is about. I think that it's one of the things that they've probably always been wanting to have inside the game, but they've been working on, making the refinements to be able to launch it into the game.
Yeah.
I definitely don't see it as a bad thing. And while I think it definitely adds to immersion, unless it genuinely changes gameplay, it's not really a game changer, is it? I mean,
that's my next thing I wanted to bring up.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I just wanted to get some more insight before I launch into my well, what okay, so fine. It's dynamic weather. What all could that mean?
Fancy snowmen.
Because that's one of the things that we talked about in Landmark is that if there was snow on the ground, could we maybe perhaps build voxel snowmans with voxel snow that accumulates on the ground?
And this is when people start singing.
Why'd you have to? No.
I didn't sing. I just said this is when people sing.
Okay. But beyond that, I was thinking a little bit more beyond that, even to torrential downpour in EverQuest Next, right? Because they have this dynamic weather system. It's snowing and it snows for a week straight in the game. And I was thinking that what if the rain that kicked off a dynamic event that was based on the weather? It's okay, it rained all this time. Now we're going to have a flood in this zone right here.
That would be awesome. Just so awesome. I love that. Right? And in any game, EverQuest Next or H1Z1, I think that both games could benefit from that kind of stuff. So
from flooding, we could benefit in game from flooding.
It adds to a level in the world because they're talking about how they don't want to script the entire world. They don't want you to be involved in the world by running from quest giver to quest giver and doing this, same thing over and over again. They want the world to be I was there when X happened. I was there when the dragon attacked the sea. I was there when we defeated the orc camp across the hill, whatever that it may be. I just thought it would be really cool that if they've got the weather system that it is raining, could they turn it into a sort of dynamic event where now there's flooding?
I suppose that would.
Flooding's just, I would think, just the start.
Yeah, because Gladys, you live in Florida. You've mentioned.
Yes. Yeah.
What about hurricanes?
I would love to see that.
What about tornadoes?
Why not? Why not have a massive where it's like you're out in the middle of a desert and there's a giant sandstorm, all of a sudden all your visions, you're taking damage, you have to get out of it, or you have to hunker down, or in the case of EverQuest Next, there are many layers to the game, right? So there's a layer underneath. You have to break through the first layer to get cover out from the sandstorm. So it forces you into a new area. That would be interesting. And what does that mean? Does that mean there are creatures on the land that are now underneath that you may see?
I forget that once upon a time that they had talked about maybe it was an earthquake that because they're going to have procedurally generated caves. At least that was my thought. They're going to have those procedurally generated caves in EverQuest Next, and there could be an earthquake, and that's what shuffled the cave to oh hey, now there's a cave over here because of the earthquake. That sounds amazing. I hope that they
there's somebody who has an earthquake.
Reroll.
The flood that wipes out an entire group of people. Reroll.
No, I don't.
I'm not trying to be argumentative. I'm just devil's advocate here. Okay, I could see that would be really freaking cool, but I'd also be kind of pissed if I were the person that was in that cave when that earthquake hit and my character got crushed.
I think that they're going to treat the players as the heroes. So if there's a flood, you're not going to drown. I mean, and if you do drown, you just respawn wherever it is that you respawn at. And then they might I don't know, wipe out a village in a flood.
That would be crazy. You have to to cause an event in EverQuest Next. There's a flood coming. You have to it's starting to flood, and you have to go help the villagers pack build up sandbags and stuff like that. And like people are looting or rioting in the town, so like you have different options of helping them. Do you help them like pack the sandbags up? Do you stop bandits from looting the town while everything's going crazy? That'd be awesome. Can we have that? Can I have that now? I just want that for 20 minutes. I'll just play that over and over again. So let me make a character and let me do that for like. Did you guys play the sandbag kill people simulator from EverQuest Next? I did it for 9 hours the other day. It was fantastic. It was a different event every time. So I don't care what it is at this point. Just give me something. They can make a monkey eat a banana on a barrel and just let me create a character in the game. That's it. And have me dig underneath the barrel so the monkey falls through the different like layers. And if that's all I get, like I'll take it. I'll take it for like a month. That's all I want. Like that's all I want at this point. I just needed my fix.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
Because I don't want to be that guy, but we're coming up soon on what would be the air time of for SOE Live, and that's usually been the point of time for them to release big information to us. And last year we kind of made a prediction of when they would say something more really big about EverQuest Next. And we all said, well, SOE Live. Well, now it's not a thing. My prediction still stands that around the time of SOE Live. Like, well, why break tradition? Just go for it.
Also, they kick off the Con season. So they've got, like, what, E3 coming up next weekend or this week. And then they have Gamescom. But I don't see them...
Were they invited? I haven't really seen any of them.
No, and I think there was a press release that the organization that hosts E3, like Daybreak Games, is no longer one of their members.
You usually have to. I think you have to sign up for it, or you have to and it's probably between the transition. I don't think they had the time to.
I'm looking up that now because I was. Because I remember reading it and thinking that it was important, that it was and I don't think that it was just Daybreak Games that left the organization that hosts. I'll get who it is. Anyway, that's beside the point. I don't think that we're going to see any news coming out of E3 for Daybreak Games. As a matter of fact, given what they have in their own offices, I think that we'll see more of their own produced stuff because they have like that whole AV department. The last time they had like landmark news, they flew out press to their building to do it. So I think we'll see more stuff like that. So do you have anything else for ECAST news, or we can jump into the other stuff? Jump. Well, I guess this kind of goes into the are they going to tell us anything? Because one of the questions we have is, are they even listening to us? And this question came up after our last show because we did how long did we talk about it last week for? At least a half hour, right? 30 minutes, 45 minutes, talking about the fact that not fast travel, but flying on 3 dimensions on a vehicle in MMOs. We talked about it because Warcraft had made the decision that, like, nope, we're not going to have it in this expansion. We're not going to have it at all. And we're like, okay, well, that kind of sucks. But maybe it's a good thing because the way they design the world, it allows you to it allows the game developers to steer you through the content of the world in their own way. Otherwise, you just hop on your flying mount and fly over the top of it, and you anymore. And then they totally did a 180 on that.
Listen. I wasn't here last week, so I didn't really get to talk about flying like in general in gaming. So I want to jump in real quick. All right. Final Fantasy 14 Heaven's Word, it's gonna have flying. How they're handling flying is
that in your quest zone you'll get flying early on, but you can't fly to everywhere. Like it'll quest you through, and you'll start needing to go, like you need to get to that island, so you'll have to access quest points that'll unlock flying as you go, so you're just not flying into places and doing the quest and flying out. They want you to explore, so they drag you through the world and unlock flying in certain areas that way, so you're not just in and out. And then by the time you're level cap in the new areas, you'll have flying unlocked in all the zones, and do it that way. That way you've fully explored and figured out. And there's also tons of areas that you need flying to figure out because it's actually not on the map. So, yay! If flying in games, as long as they're like where Final Fantasy XIV doesn't have PvP in the game, where it has PvP of its own thing, so it doesn't mess with the in-game talents of PvE. They have their own PvP stuff that has their own talents. So there's no, gripe about PvP players saying, "Oh, I can't fight anybody in the world and stab them." And, that they kind of take care of that. Am I against it? If you can make it work, make it work. If it doesn't matter to me. It just depends on how you develop your game. If you give me a horse, I'll take a horse everywhere. If you give me a winged beast, I'll take my winged beast. If you tell me I have to take these magical portals, I'll take the magical portals. Doesn't really matter to me. It could be like EverQuest 1 where we hop on a boat and I suppose like, how long does it take to get to the port across the water? Oh, it's going to be an hour. All right, I'm going to watch a couple seasons. I'm going to watch Daredevil till that happens. It could be like that.
Right.
But it's not. So, and to get to this with Blizzard reversing it, I think you can't, I don't want to say you can't trust Blizzard. I don't know what their thought process is because Ian, and I'm gonna murder his last name, Kazatosis, Kaz is something.
Well, you got the first name. It was Ian.
I'm just gonna say Ian.
His Twitter handle, his forum handle is isn't it WaterDev?
Yeah.
Let me double check that.
WaterDev, yeah. Kazatosis, I don't know. I'm stop murdering his name. He gets
Azikatosis.
Yeah, see? Not any better, but we'll go with it.
Wow.
Well, here, I'll link it in chat.
Yeah,
you
just
tell
like
me how to pronounce that.
Hazakostas, maybe? Hazakostas.
Hazakostas or Hazakostas.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Hazakostas. I'm just gonna say that guy. He was, and I remember this in interviews before the game was released. He was like, flying is not going to be in Draenor, is not a plan for Draenor. We had no, I don't understand, like, I never understood, like, where it came about, like, 6.2 was going to be a patch for flying. It was never said that the flying was ever going to come out in the Draenor expansion in this game. So, they have lost 3 million people in a short time span, and a lot of other people were like, I'm leaving too. I don't got flying, I'm leaving. 3 million people left, I'm leaving.
That's not why.
Oh, no, I don't think it's why either.
No, and the Q&A that they did, I think that they recognized the major feature that they added for Warlords of Draenor were garrisons. Garrisons, frankly, suck. They're awful. Even my guild jokes around with it about it. Like, we log in to stand around in our garrison until it's ready until it's time to go do something else. Nobody ever leaves the garrison to go see the world. But regardless of all of that, I'll take a back seat because I have a couple of points that I want to make about exploring and seeing the world the way the developer intends you to, in regards to flying. So, Kailas, are you happy that the developers listened to the outrage over no flying? Are you disappointed that they backtracked?
I am spineless motherfuckers. So let me be clear. I'm okay with them putting flying back into the game. I have no objection. I was sort of neutral on the idea of it being there or not being there. Like, I like the game. So whether it's in the game or not in the game, like, it did not affect my life in games so much. I'm like, I have to have flying, fucking will. But the fact that they're like, we're not going to do it, and it's because of this reason, and this reason is really important, and we feel like it ruins your gameplay, we're spineless bastards, and we can't keep our own word to you. That bothers me.
Yeah. See, and that brings up the point, like, didn't they have their own internal debate and conversation about the decision? Didn't they couldn't they have come to the same conclusion and reached the same compromise that they came up with without having to, like, make it public and then feel the backlash and then backtrack because of the backlash?
Yes. They did. They even said it. Like, I remember him in the interview. We had a lot of talk about He said there was a group of people in the building that were for flying, and he said, but the majority ruled out that flying made the game seem small. And yes, I don't know. Like, I'll say this: like, playing EQ2, like I've flown around in EQ2. In EQ2, I don't know what they do, but like in WoW, like I feel like the world is smaller
I
in
can tell you
WoW.
what they did. I understand exactly how they do it.
Is it because they limit your height in EQ2? Or no, they made flight slower. Maybe, I don't know what's going on.
I'm always height limited.
No. It's more about the way Warcraft is very compacted. So everything is really right on top of each other. Whereas in EverQuest 2, things are spread out. There is distance to be able to travel from one place to another place. So you're right in that regard that EverQuest 2 is bigger. And I would tell people, like, where's your drink? Have it ready. Have your drink ready. Because in Vanguard, up until like Mists of Pandaria came out, I would say that Vanguard had a bigger world than Warcraft. So one game at launch was bigger than Warcraft in 3 expansions. Just saying. But that actually goes to my topic about having the world so compacted so that everything is right on top of each other. And here's my big thing about flying. And it actually goes not necessarily into questing, or not necessarily into getting around and moving around the world, experiencing the way the world is, the way the developers want you to go through the content to level. And it's really weird that, like, in the way that the questing and work is set up now, and I absolutely hate it. I've done it enough times now that I see how it is done, that it basically, you have a chain of events that occur, and they're set up like quests, right? So you start in A place, you go to B place, you go to C place, D place, E place, until you get to the end of the zone, and then you move to the next zone, and it repeats itself. You're basically following what people call the bread trail, and it's ridiculous that they do it that way, because they're awarding you experience points when it's meaningless. If you go through the quest the way that they want you to, by the time you hit the end of that quest trail, you're the level they want you to be to move into the next zone. You can, and it's so weird that you can try and get more experience doing other things, but the fact is that you almost never level earlier than when they intend you to. And why have experience points and levels at all that way? If that's the way the world is going to work, like, you have to start in this place and start walking to arrive at this place, and you start at level 1 and you end up at level 50 once you've gone through this line. Why have levels at all? Just, this quest giver, this from here, when I finally get there and I talk to them, they give me access to a new ability.
Ooh.
What's up?
Because, so let's take World of Warcraft for an example. Take World of Warcraft and completely remove the idea of levels out of it, right? And leave it to where
Sounds like a great game.
Huh?
Sounds like a great game. No, I'm serious.
No, seriously. Just like, okay, so let's look at Warcraft, because all 3 of us have played World of Warcraft. So take out the levels. Your now form of progression is completing a group of quests in each zone, and the only way to go to the next zone is to finish those quests. Okay, that's pretty normal. Sans ding when you get to a certain point of experience points, you progress to the next level. So remove the leveling part of it, and now what do you have? Well, where is my reward for doing all of this? Because the numbers are suddenly gone. What's my reward? Well, then you say, well, you get this one talent, or you get this. Well, I already get that. When I hit level 2, I got that one thing with my paladin, right? But when I hit level 3, I got that other thing with my paladin. And when I hit level 10, I get that one thing unlocked on that thing that I can click on.
What happens when you go up a level and the way the mechanics set up, you get nothing. You get no new abilities, no special perks. You just like all of a sudden the number rolled over. It's like an odometer. You're rolling, and it goes from 3 and it rolls over to 4, and you got nothing. The only thing that happened was that number rolled over from a 3 to a 4. Does that level really exist?
Everybody keeps saying, let's fix this thing because it's so broken. What's so broken about a level? What's so wrong about like logging into a game and grinding from point A to point B to gain 10 levels in this amount of time over this quest line, over this quest series in this particular zone to move on to the next zone? What's wrong with it? Like, what? Everybody says it's broke, but why is it? What's wrong with that concept? Because it's old?
Because it's not a reflection of real life.
Okay, but I don't video games to reflect my real life. I play video games to get away from it. So tell me again why I want to play something that's closer to real.
It doesn't even reflect like so you get an ability to use your sword, and as you go up and you get better. You get.
You
better
even said as you go up in level.
Well, no. Right, but not in real life. In the mechanics of the game, you be able to use your sword one way, and then you get access to a different ability that allows you to now I can have a swing this way, or I can have a chop that way.
I don't know about you, but I go up in level every single year. Last year I was level 35. This year I am level 36, and next year I will be level 37. So there. Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Well, we kind of went on a tangent because that's the other thing. Like, in reality, you get better at certain skills by using those skills. It's kind of funny that like when you're like, I don't use these skills at all, but I went up a level, so now I'm better at them. And that's why like the whole sandbox RPG, right? It's like getting better. Being a better approximation of a fantasy world that we can live in, that feels comfortable, that we can interact in, and I'm okay with it. I've played non-leveling RPGs, tabletop games, and this goes back to the whole difference in the vertical progression and the horizontal progression. And EverQuest Next is already promising that we're not gonna be having those sort of like chasing quests, even though it's the way that achievement systems and landmark work make me worry that they're just going to hide their vertical advancement system. Just kind of like, did anybody play The Secret World? The Secret World was said that it was like that, right? Like there's no level systems, but what you found out is that like, wait a minute, it's just a hidden leveling system. It's not like a no limit system.
I like what Soul tells Smiles. I think it's broke because it ends, then the real game starts. End game. I think the idea is to just put you straight into the end game. Okay, so while I agree with you, if you remove the concept of leveling and you no longer label, okay, well, you go level 1 to level 2 to level 3, and I realize that EQ Next is not out. We haven't gotten a chance to play it, so we don't know exactly what the progression in that game is going to look like. But if you look at Landmark, there's still progression. I don't give a shit what they say. I have to go through all of this area to get the materials, to get the armor, for me to go to the next area, lest I get my ass kicked. Once I get to that area, then I have to go through that whole region to get more materials, to build the next step of armor up, to get better gear, shocker, to go to the next area so I don't get my ass kicked, and so on and so forth, until you finally reach the end of the armor materials, etc. So, I mean, isn't...
That's why I said, like, I'm a little bit concerned that they're hiding a vertical advancement structure without calling it a level system, because, like, for example, they say that one of their achievements is to kill, like, let's just say as an example, to kill 100 things with a sword. When you've killed that 100th thing, you earn an achievement, and that achievement unlocks your third ability. Well, you can say that, okay, you have to kill 100 mobs with that sword, or you can alternately say that when you kill a mob, you get 1% of a level's worth of experience, and at the end of that journey of earning 1% at a time, you've leveled up, and now you have access to another ability. They're basically different ways of explaining the same concept. Kill 100 things, unlock a third ability. One, it's just an achievement tracking system. The other way it is that each one you kill gives you X amount of experience. 100 times X equals the one achievement that you need to get the weapon third unlock. It is a because it's difficult to say vertical, because vertical implies that there's one stacked on top of the other. So you've unlocked the third weapon ability, but to unlock the fourth weapon ability, you have to both unlock the third and kill 100 more. So now we're going, adding things that, step one is not having any, step two would be having that third ability, and then step four would be having that fourth ability. And that is what I'm really, really worried about them doing, is hiding that sort of vertical progression system. As long as they stay with just the three, like earn the achievement, unlock that third, I wouldn't say that it's as grinding out activity type stuff. I was even quiet for a while.
You guys are going so strong.
Tangent.
Yeah, a little bit. No, it's fine. No, I agree. It's kind of like how Guild Wars said, like, we did away with the traditional questing system. No, you didn't. You took numbers and said I have to pick, and then replace it with a little grow bar.
So when it comes to things like that, I think that they did innovate a little bit in that if you were high level, you could go into a low level zone that you hadn't been through already, and it would downgrade your level, and you would earn the same experience block that would have been appropriate for your level. Like you wouldn't level up, but if you went through a level 10 zone, and at the end of that level 10 zone, if you had completed all of that activities, you had gone up a level because you finished all those activities. You could also come back at level 60, and at the end of finishing all those activities, you'd be level 61, for example, which is kind of I don't know, it's an innovation, because normally level past the zone and you come back, it awards you no experience, and you just tear through the zone like it's nothing.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's total possibility for it hiding a vertical leveling system through the achievements. They kind of do it in EverQuest, or they do it in Landmark, where it's like, hey, go dig up some land. Boom, you get the pick, or you do this, and like, all right, cool, you dug up some land. Put a house down. You get all this stuff. You like, for everything you do, and you unlock something. So it can unlock armor. I don't think it'll unlock classes, because I think they kind of want you to go about that yourself. But I think they could use it to say, go through and what's the word I'm looking for? Go through and get you on the right path of like unlocking the ability to swap out different skills on the second bar, where you can like, oh, you've unlocked all these, like unlock 10 classes, then it's like, oh, here's your third ability or swapping out things. Like it allows you to do things. They could do that. That would suck. I think they have the ability to do great things, and I wouldn't like to, like, maybe that's how they would do a tutorial. Maybe the first couple things kind of get you warmed up, and then like boom, then they let you out loose. I'm okay with that, because you only have to do it once. But I don't know. Just don't do it. That's me. Just don't do it. If you think it's gonna be some sort of leveling, don't do it.
Well, I'm just gonna have to be some sort of incremental stuff. Because we're not going to be able to jump into the game and be the master of everything we want to be. So they're going to have to like put things behind, gateways, and we're going to have to gate into them. What I'm really afraid of is them having like some sort of hidden vertical advancement system, like secret world or a really grindy system. But I'm sure that there are ways to do it where it feels natural and it feels fun and comfortable. I just think because the whole thing that brought up this conversation is that the way that Warcraft is not exactly fun. Adding flying to it doesn't really fix it any more than making you walk through it.
So I feel like I need to add some because as people are talking in chat, and I'm not naming anybody specifically because it's sort of a conversation between several people as well as myself. A lot of people are putting up other video games in the way that they did it, and my commentary is that it's still whether it's if you have to prove your skill to unlock something, it's progression regardless of level progression or character progression or story progression. If the genuine, real intention is to remove the barrier of, I've been playing this game for 2 years and my best friend has never touched this game, but my best friend really wants to jump in game and play with me, then you need to not have any of that. If my best friend wants to play with me, why should he or she have to play for an hour, for a week, or even just days to unlock these things for them to be able to play? Why can't they just jump into the game and play with me? And then one of two answers is that, oh, but I've been playing longer than they have, so I should have better shit than they do. Well, then maybe what you really want isn't what you really want. I mean, which one is it? Because it feels like that's going to be the objection from a lot of players is that, no, I've been playing for 5 years. It shouldn't be that easy. I want to be different than them. I want to be better than them. But if it's not about progression.
I think that you just nailed the thing. I don't care about progression in an MMO. If I'm playing an MMO, I don't necessarily progression because I'm playing it because I enjoy playing it. But the number one thing about leveling and the progression and adding more abilities is that no matter what they do, I want to be able to my friend jump on a month, 2, 3 months later and be able to play with me without me feeling like I have to go back in time. Like I have to re-level in all, or I have to or it's like, hey, just join my group and I'll power level through you this dungeon, because then you're not really playing the game. You're just abusing the hell out of the systems to get him to where you're at in the game. And that again, that's my big takeaway from that. And I didn't realize it until you had said it. That's what I care about in progression, is that no matter what system they have, I want my friends to be able to jump on and play with me. Which honestly, it's kind of surprising because that leads us right to our next topic. And Flatus and I had talked a little bit about this. And Kailash, you watched one of those Guild Grump videos, right?
I've seen them all.
I watched the first 3 or I forget. Guild Grumps is a YouTube channel, or video.
Game Grumps. Here, how about this?
all right,
I got this. If you guys don't know, Game Grumps is a YouTube channel started by Egoraptor and JonTron, now run by Egoraptor and Danny Sexbang, Egoraptor's girlfriend, Mortimer, and a bunch of others, and Ross and Barry. It's all run by the different group. The Game Grumps crew. Well, they had a little thing. They for people that don't know, Egoraptor was on the first season of the Game Dev. It was a PlayStation 3 reality TV show called You Want to Be a Game Dev or something like that. And so he was on a reality TV show. Ross's wife Holly was on the sci-fi show for cosplay. Masters of Cosplay. So Ross had the idea that it would be really funny to have a show, and it was all for at the end of everything, it was for charity. It was to give money for a charity group, but he thought it'd be funny to do a mock reality TV show about how it would be to get people involved in MMOs who've never played an MMO before, and
hated MMOs.
Yeah, hated MMOs, and then they would slowly be knocked out. Like whoever was leveling slowest would be the one that would lose every episode. Well, I don't want to ruin it. Just go watch the videos if you're so inclined. But it's totally making fun of all reality shows. Now, the thing that Talon and I took away from it is that it gave the impression to people that didn't know, it gave the impression that Ross was forcing people that did not want to play an MMO to play an MMO, and then was teaching them the worst way. He threw them at end level and say
absolute
worst way.
So, see, and that was my for one, I didn't realize that it was satire. Like I realized that there might have been some production fakery involved, but for the most part, I thought that it was a real experience. That they were doing a real reality television show about these people who were playing an MMO for the first time, and not only were they playing an MMO for the first time, but they hated MMOs. And their friend was irritating me. The person in charge, whatever his name was, I was getting so frustrated because it was like everything
Ross.
that you
could do wrong.
Everything that you could do wrong to recruit your friends to play MMOs, that's what he was doing. So we wanted to take like 10 minutes and just briefly talk about some ideas about if you were going to recruit your friends into playing an MMO with you, how would you go about doing that?
Flirt with them.
Does that work?
Yeah.
I don't know. Never.
I'll lead it.
Hey, all right, I'll get in there. No, it never worked for me. I never go up to it. Hey, you want to play? You want to see my ogre?
Well,
Lean in close. They're like, no, I don't get that. It's creepy.
Do you want to see my spirit wolves?
Want to see Doomhammer? I got Tanlin.
I have an epic-handed sword right here, baby.
Woo! All right. So how to recruit your friends? First thing that I saw that they did wrong that I'm absolutely against is let them play the class. But actually, let me back up even more. Let them name the character. Let them create the character. Let them customize the character within the customization options in the game. Let them choose their own class. All of those things, because what you want them to do is identify with the character they're playing. I think that's the first key. They want to, you want to emphasize that they can be all of these different things and have them think about well, do you want to be in heavy armor with a shield and a sword, or do you want to be in heavy armor with a two-handed sword? Because those are two completely different play styles in almost every MMO. And if they identify with one but are forced to play the other, they're gonna get frustrated with it.
I was told when I first started playing, we're gonna bring up Jason. He's the one that got me playing World of Warcraft, and I logged into the game, got everything settled, and I'm looking at characters. And I really, really want to play Night Elf. Like, my first choice was Night Elf, not Blood Elf. It was Night Elf.
And he said no.
I was told, no, I will never play an elf or a girl again, you pointy-eared geeks. So I wanted to play a Blood Elf, and he's like, I still won't play an elf or a girl ever again. And I said, I'll play it and I can meet you. No, you need somebody to protect you in game. You play one without me. So I now have a troll shaman with the best troll badonkadonk ever. I'm sorry, I love the trolls because they've got the best badonk in the game. It's so good.
But that goes back.
But
to the
I
point
love
that,
but he told me what to play.
But he told you what you couldn't play only because he didn't want to play with you in that regard.
He picked shaman for me.
Oh, he told you that.
Yeah, shaman was the thing that he picked for me. He's like, I really sort of think that you'd be a really good shaman because wolf is a perfect flavor for you. You'd be a really good wolf. You should play it. You should play a shaman. You'd be
now, did he say that because he knew you and recommended that based on your preferences?
It's possible. It is a distinct possibility that the reason he said I think you'd be a good shaman is because he knew me. Is it possible that there were other people's characters?
I don't know, Gladys. What do you think? Because the mage maybe, but he called her. I don't know. She was like he called her a fire mage, and I think she was spec'd into arcane. So it was like he didn't even know what she was playing really. It was kind of funny, frustrating but funny.
I have no sense of humor then because that was not funny.
I don't know. I like when I would ever get somebody to start playing WoW, I would do it in the way that I started playing WoW. I don't want to say like I just let them like go about their own thing and let them discover the world. I gave it like I helped them out, but I would usually start like a low level character with them just to give them like just so I was on the same like little bit of even footing because you didn't have that ability to like you could just roll a new character. You didn't have the ability to lower your level or match their level in that game. So. But then I would never tell them, like, I would just tell them how to control their character, but I would say, like, listen, I'm not going to tell you how to play your character, because I play a mage and I play a warrior. You're going to ask me how to play shaman, I know jack crap about a shaman. I know you guys got totems, and they look cool. That's all I know. That's all I know. So I would just tell them, like, you know, discover the game for yourself. Like, I'm not, like, I should be your guide in helping you have fun, not be your guide in telling you what you should do, because I feel like if we're gonna play the game together, I want you to fall in love with it the way I fell in love with it, not the way that I like. But I want you to do it on your own terms. Like I want you to fall in love with it for your own reasons. Like I love playing Shaman. Like I had like anytime I tell my friends like, hey, listen, like I may give them a tip like, hey, like should I be undead Shaman? Like not this is the thing, but for example,
Like, whoa, I want to be an undead shaman.
They don't exist, but I'm just going for example.
Well, they would have like the bone fetishes.
They would have fetishes. Down. It would be cool.
I can tell them. Really, but
you never know. Next expansion, they may expand some classes out because they always do that.
Remove race class restrictions.
Yeah.
No, that would make me angry. They are not allowed to ever fucking do that. I would seriously be playing the game right then and there. End of story. No.
But I think I agree with Gladys. I think that one of the ways that you can get people involved in playing the game isn't to tell them how to do it, but just be like, I'm here to be your guide. You tell me what sounds like fun. You want to see what's over the top of that hill? All right, well let's go find out. If I know that what is over the top of that hill is going to kill them, I'm probably going to tell them, hey, you know, if you run over there, you're probably going to die. Not that I care, but here we go. Let them die in however they want to, as long as they're dying in the way that they want to play the game. Because eventually they'll figure it out and be like, okay, can't go over there. They'll kick my ass. Oh,
yep.
Maybe I should go over this direction because I know they won't kick my ass.
Yeah, do guides make money for Daybreak? Is that a thing? Do I make money doing that? It should be a guide for EQ next. Like, it's just gonna have fun.
Well, not in Landmark or because EverQuest Next isn't out, but they have a guide program. Totally,
they do have a guide program. That'd be a great guide.
But that's more like running in-game events for players, like
it is
coming up with stuff.
I was probably still be good at that
too.
Cheese baking competition.
Boy, that happened a lot than I thought it was going to go. I thought we were going to spend more time about how to recruit things. I think,
sorry, Doomhammer said it all.
Right. No, the only other thing that I would love throwing into game developers, and this is my drink is almost empty. This is a lesson learned from Vanguard: is that your game has got to be played on an entry-level machine. Otherwise, you make recruiting impossible. If I can't be like, dude, your computer is like 5 years old, I think it can run the game. Let's go log in and see. Then they'll log in and we'll see. But if like I know, I'm like, dude, my computer is like less than a year old and I can barely play the game. There's no way your game is going to be able to play it. There's no recruitment possibility there. My friends will never be able to play the game unless they're already playing games and already have a gaming computer. So that's you got to make it playable on the low end.
Boo.
That doesn't mean that you can't have it beautiful for gaming enthusiasts like we are.
I was going to say, because seriously, like, my machine is kind of nice. I'd really like to have, like, I with the help of Tamlin, she's a sexy beast. I really want to make my sexy beast work for it. So thank you.
Right, but at the same time, you want to be able to bring new players in. But you don't care.
No, not really. Your machine doesn't run it. I'm sorry. Am I an ass?
You're a total elitist.
I don't make people cry when they suck in PvP.
Alright, so I see that we had a couple of questions, so let's
I'm gonna throw something at him. I mean, that should be something else that goes in the drinking game. Every time Kai throws something at Tanlin, drink.
add it to the list. Add it to the list.
Frequently.
It happens enough that it's almost a thing.
No, it's not almost. I've been asked why I didn't throw something at you before.
So we had some questions. We had at least one question, and I saw one of them was, how much did you spend on the Steam summer sale so far? I only spent 25. It was Civ 3, Civ 5, and Z1. I wanted to get Banished and Banner Saga, but I didn't pick up the Banner Saga because I don't have enough time to play games that are solo player. I'd rather be playing multiplayer games. Even though I've heard great things about it. And then I didn't pick up Banished because it's a Sim City-esque type city where you're building a city and micromanaging your little people. And I was picking up Civ 5, which was also sort of kind of like that, and I didn't want to pick up two games of the same-ish genre. And then the Banished doesn't have a multiplayer, so I'd rather play Civ and play against other people.
Out on
Me? Hi. Nothing yet. I am that guy that waits to the last 2 days of the Steam sale, having dealt with 2 Steam sales for years now. Everything goes back on sale. Like everything. If you missed a daily sale or anything, everything goes back on sale. They put the sales up 3 times. They do a short 24-hour one. They do the daily. They do the everything's going to end in 24 hours. These are special deals. But on the last day, everything goes on sale for whatever you found it for. Not everything. Sometimes you have to double check. But they take like the most popular ones, the ones that you kind of want, are always go back on sale. If you see something that's obscure, you may not see that game back on sale. Maybe you want to buy it if it's on deep discount. But I always wait, and I usually get the games I want. So, also,
games are you watching?
Currently, Don't Starve Together. I'm waiting for that. Even though it just came out, I'm waiting for Don't Starve Together maybe to go on a bit of a sale. Even if it's a few bucks, I'll probably get it. What else? I have a friend that wants to start playing. My best friend's getting married next month, and he quit playing WoW. He was finding it boring. He's like, it wasn't worth his time to really sit there in the garrison and play. Shockingly enough. So I was like, well, Final Fantasy goes on. Like, it's easy. Like, even though it's $20, and I may just throw down the $20 and give him Final Fantasy 14 as an early wedding present. If it does happen to go on sale, can't hurt because I can get more than one copy.
What do you think? Wedding gift for?
No, I'll get him a wedding gift.
The dog. I was like, don't do it. That sounds like. Is she a gamer?
No, she is.
She games too. Okay, well then it might be okay because yeah.
Flying fat chocobo. All right, so everybody, like, if Tanlin starts tweeting desperately about the whiny effing woman in his house, I promise he is indeed talking about me, whining at him for the new Final Fantasy game, and pouting, because I want a chocobo. I want a chocobo.
We got another question in chat. Everybody wants it. First of all, everybody wants a flying chocobo. If you've not seen the fat chocobo in Final Fantasy XIV, go Google image of fat chocobo, then Google image the fat flying chocobo. The ground mount is you sit on the back, you hold a fishing pole, and you have a large cabbage in front of the fat chocobo, and that eerily makes it want it to run.
Eats healthy.
Does fly now to get that thing to fly? Apparently, you need a slice of cake because apparently. He makes the fat chocobo eager enough to flap its wings hard enough to keep it off the ground. The question: if I had cake, I'd probably fly too. Questions? Question number dos. Did you play Witcher 3? I have not yet. Anyone else play The Witcher 3, or are interested in The Witcher?
It's a single player offline game. Not my bag. I've tried. I love offline empire building games. So like Masters of Orion, Civilization, SimCity, in TSs to a lesser extent. Like I like through the campaign, like
sorry, my God.
StarCraft 2, Age of Empires. So the Microsoft one, but other than that, when it comes to single player RPGs, I used to be into them a whole lot more, but I don't know, I'm just not into them anymore.
Just not that into you. It's like it sounds like the worst breakup story ever.
But somebody asked about Skyforge, and that I was looking a little bit at that. Maybe over the course of the week, I will look into it a little bit more. And no, I haven't. Addison and I talked about this with the game. No, it wasn't tonight. It was Chad Chuena, who used to be a host of the show. He's all into, like, he went and saw Jurassic Park, and I think he was talking about getting Ark, and he's like, dinosaurs. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what I was a horrible little boy because dinosaurs were never my thing. You can give me dragons and wizards and ships and rockets. I'm all happy. Dinosaurs just don't do anything.
But I like dinosaurs.
Well,
you're
Ark
a
is
better
interesting.
little boy than I am.
It is. Ark is interesting because it's that it takes place in the future.
But it's, yeah.
It's the path, but I didn't pass. I don't know. I may play Ark. I may get Ark. I find it interesting that I can go to the bathroom in that game and collect it and use it for something. So if you ever wanted a game where that could happen, Ark is your game.
Well, it kind of reminds me of No Man's Sky in that regard. That, like, in some of the gameplay videos they showed of No Man's Sky, like the spaceship went to that other planet, and there were the dinosaur-looking creatures. And I'm sure that that's just because, like, when you have procedurally generated, and you just like, here's a frame, all of a sudden you've got giant lizards.
I'm down for No Man's Sky. Like, I'm kind of. I'll be down for it because it supposedly will have the type of multiplayer that it's a PlayStation 3 title. I can't remember the name of it. Where it was very limited. Journey, yeah. Where it was very limited. You couldn't really talk. You didn't talk to anybody. You kind of just, if you were willing to help somebody out, you could just be passing each other along the desert and never see each other ever again. That kind of interests me. It's like there's no communication other than, like, do I interact or do I not interact with this person? That's it. So that's me.
I was all about No Man's Sky. I'm going to be blunt. Until you have a release date, fuck off.
I don't tell you.
Hey, no. Those were the two games. Those are the two games that, like, EQ Next back in SOE Live 2013 and No Man's Sky at E3 2014. They just hyped the hell out of those games, and I'm like, oh my god, that looks awesome! I can't wait! I want to get my hands on it. And then it's like, it's a year later, 2 years later, no release date, no, just so frustrating to try and follow along with the game that I really want to play. And I'm to the point where I was like, hey, if you don't have a release date, I don't want to hear about your game. You can talk to me about your game when you have a release date. That is when I'm willing to listen. Until then, I don't want to hear it. Fuck off.
So on that note,
I'm down. I dig it. No, I agree with you. Like, I'll go on a little. Listen, you went a little tirade. I'll go on a little mini tirade for it. Like, I agree with you. I think it's 100% correct. I think that we're in this new mentality, or I should say, the gaming companies in this mentality, and I'd say gamers are in it as well, where you have to build up hype, right? You have to do this whole, like, the game's not even out, but we have a working, and we can show them, like No Man's Sky. Look, spaceship landing in, lizards, giant dinosaur creatures. You can fly to another planet. Hype, build up the hype. Everybody wants it. You want to get people talking about it on Twitter. You want them to hashtag things. You want them to go see your Facebook page. You want them to Vine about it. You want them to make YouTube videos about it. You want to start the ball rolling early. Then come a year later, like then you do it again. Like you get the hype of like, oh, it's back. It's got even more things this time. Look, we saw more. There's some gameplay. Like listen, it happens a lot, and it sucks because you want these games and you kind of want them now, but tell me a damn release date or give me an idea when beta might be, and I may hop in on beta or do something. But don't sit there and jerk me and say, hey, listen, here, look at all these cool things you can do in a game, and you can't have it yet. That's like saying, look at this delicious cake, you can't have any cake. You can have cake in 3 years. You want cake? Look how good this cake looks. 3 years, you can get that cake. EverQuest next. Yeah, monkey to barrel.
That was my reply to the Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is available for pre-order right now, and I remember looking at the release date for it that said December 31st, the last day of the year, and I'm like, there's no way
that'll be pushed.
So I was wondering if that was like it will be released no later than the end of this year.
That happens too, yeah.
Right, but still, it's like, you know what? How? I will tell all of my friends. I've been following games now for a couple of years. Don't ever pre-order unless they've got a release date.
And can we just go back to the same statement from earlier? Is that game developers are liars?
Right.
Because we were discussing this earlier, so I don't even care if there is a release date. Game developers are liars, and maybe saying game developers are liars is harsh, because it is. It's not like a polite way to word it. I feel like I have friends in the industry, and when I say I have friends in the industry, I use that term loosely because I'm not entirely sure that they would return the favor and also call me a friend. I don't think they put it on purpose. I don't think Warcraft said, we're not gonna have flying. I don't think they did that on purpose to piss people off to turn around and change their mind. They they genuinely didn't think they would have flying, which is why they said it. But I think the difference being like, oh, we're not gonna have flying anymore. Oh shit! Like, I really don't want to talk my players, so I guess we're gonna have flying. Ha ha! Sorry. It is a lot different than oh, we totally thought that we could have the game finished by the end of this year, but we were wrong.
There was one other game I almost bought at the summer sale. I forgot to mention, and that is the repopulation. Because I hear that their crafting system is going to be reminiscent of Star Wars Galaxy. And then the reason I didn't buy it is because when the game launches officially, it will be a free-to-play title with a cash store. Much like, it's going to be a free-to-play MMO. And the $15 would only get you into early access, and they're projecting that it's going to be out sometime this year. So it just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me to spend the $15 to get early access to a game that I was like, this could be interesting when I could just wait a couple more months. All right. Broadus, final thoughts. We're gonna wrap this up a little bit early. I mean, for those following along with the show, we've been kind of cutting it back between an hour and a half, when there isn't a whole lot to talk about. Obviously, there was no news coming out of EverQuest Next or Landmark this week, so we're here talking about this.
My final thoughts are flying indecisive. Just give me whatever traveling system you have. I won't really complain about it. If it works for your game, then it works. If it doesn't, then go back to the drawing board. For my final thoughts on anything else. We have one more question there. Anything are you interested from E3 real quick? Square Enix does their press conference on June 16th at 10, I believe. So not yet, but somebody said gigantic into that. I'll probably see what's going on there. Other than that, nothing so far. Nintendo had their big tournament again, so good for them. Other than that, no, we're good on my end. Yay, video games. Boo, devs for taking things back.
Right.
And thank you all for the compliments on the purple hair. It genuinely really is.
So next week, Lucy should be back, and Kyleth will be out. The week after that, will be out, and Gladys will be running the show without me. That'll be
Hey,
fun.
Gladys, bear this in mind. He won't be here, but I will.
True story.
I'm not going with him. I get my own weekend this coming weekend. He gets his own weekend the following weekend.
And then the following week after that is 4th of July weekend, which the EverCast show is.
Yeah, we won't be on that weekend.
All right. So that is it for the EverCast show this week. Thank you all for tuning in and listening with us. If you're listening on iTunes or Stitcher or watching a video on demand later on YouTube, we really appreciate it. Be sure to hit follow, thumbs up, like us, leave a comment, star us. Swipe right? Is it swipe right? Swipe left? I don't know.
Swipe or no swiping?
Who wants to camp us out?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Camping in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We will see you next week.